Warren Roebling was born on September 23, 1843, to a well-to-do and prominent family in Cold Spring, New York. Her father, Sylvanus Warren, was a state assemblyman and the town supervisor, and her mother was Phoebe Warren. The Warren family had been a part of the Cold Spring community for many generations, and their family roots trace back to the Mayflower. Emily excelled in science and algebra and graduated from the Georgetown Visitation Convent in Washington, D.C. with top honors. The most famous member of the Warren family was undoubtedly Emily's brother, known as General Gouverneur Warren. He was a prominent Civil War figure who created extraordinary maps of the land west of the Mississippi River. While visiting her brother during the war, Emily met Washington Roebling, her future husband. Washington Roebling was the son of John Roebling, who was an engineer responsible for many suspension bridges in northern America. Soon after their marriage, in January of 1865, Emily and Washington assisted John, Washington's father, on the biggest job of his career, the creation of a suspension bridge which would unite Brooklyn and Manhattan. This project is nowadays referred to as the Brooklyn Bridge. Washington and Emily traveled to Europe, where Washington studied the Caisson technique, which involved pressurized chambers which allowed for a dry working environment on underwater sites. Sadly, John Roebling passed away due to an injury at the construction site back in Northern America, which left the unfinished project in Washington's hands. The work on the project soon continued, but tragedy struck again to the Roebling family. Caisson disease, or the bends, was a potentially deadly reaction to the changes in pressure in the Caisson pressure chambers. Many of the workers, including Washington, got the disease, and many died. Washington, however, survived, but had chronic symptoms, which included cramps, hindered eyesight, and losing his equilibrium. Throughout the remaining 50 years of his life, Washington would never recover from his illness. However, work at the construction site continued. Emily, who was doubling as his nurse and confidant, would communicate orders to assistant engineers by writing down detailed notes from her husband. Emily's understanding and knowledge of the engineering of the bridge began to grow, and it is rumored that she unofficially filled her husband's position as chief in engineering staff due to her proficiency in solving the issues involving construction. In addition to this, Emily also served as spokeswoman and advocated for her husband. She reassured officials that he was capable of managing the project, even though it was rumored that Emily did all the calculations. After 14 years of construction, the Brooklyn Bridge was ready for its opening in May of 1883. Emily was the first rider to cross the bridge, which she did with an inaugural carriage ride a week and a half before the official opening. It is quite possible that Washington Roebling never stepped foot on the bridge, which he dedicated his life to. This bridge was the same one which killed his father and gave him an incurable illness. But it is also the same bridge which allowed Emily Roebling to step foot into an engineering world which would have been otherwise inaccessible to her. Nevertheless, the sacrifices of the Roebling family will never be forgotten. Today, on the Brooklyn side tower, there is a plaque which reads, "The builders of the bridge, dedicated to the memory of Emily Warren Roebling, 1843 to 1903, whose faith and courage helped her stricken husband, Colonial Washington A. Roebling, C. 1837 to 1926. Complete the construction of this bridge from the plans of his father, John A. Roebling, C. 1805 to 1869, who gave his life to the bridge. Back of every great work we can find the self-sacrificing devotion of a woman." Thanks for watching this video about Emily Warren Roebling, the mastermind behind the Brooklyn Bridge. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video.